crazy world, don't we? I want to talk to you about, real insanity today. There are some things happening in our country that you really need to understand. And the first thing is how to understand how the economy works. I want to explain to you, I think there's some economic terror coming our way. The economic terror alert system. I'll get into that in a minute, but I want to show you some of the stats on why I'm still very concerned about the economy and what is coming. You have to watch this show the full hour. The evidence is pretty overwhelming. The number of troubled banks has hit its highest level since 1993. It now stands at 829. The Fed said that they're not going to buy our debt, but now they are, especially if things get much worse, and I'm sure it's not. The Fed has already bought $1.4 trillion of our debt to stimulate the economy. Now, so you understand, the Fed buying our debt from the Treasury, they can't buy it directly, so they have to sell it to this cup. And they take money out of this one pocket and they say, hey, I'm going to give you this money, cup. And then the Treasury, this pocket, comes over and says, hey, I've got some debt to sell. You'd like to buy it? I'll take your money and put it. That's how it works. It's moving money from one pocket to another. It doesn't work. Now, we've spent an awful lot of money, and if I may have an ADD moment here, they will argue that if we don't spend enough money, it's going to never get better. And they're going to argue now that they didn't spend enough money the time before. Let's spend a moment on that. Do you remember how people complained that the cost of the Iraq war was going to bankrupt us and we couldn't afford it? It was destroying our economy. The CBO says the Iraq war was $709 billion. The total. The stimulus is $787 billion. And that is a low estimate and doesn't include the first stimulus with Bush or the ones they're talking about now. They didn't work. But we keep trying to do the same thing over and over again. Why? You will understand by the end of this hour. The latest barrage of spending started with George W. Bush, and I want to make that clear. And TARP, it was Bush that did it. $700 billion. He abandoned the free market system to save it. But he abandoned it before. First with the $85 billion to AIG, and then Obama, $17 billion to GM. Or was that Obama, or was that Bush too? I don't even know. They're almost interchangeable now. Now maybe this bit of economic news will catch Obama's attention since it involves his new company. After all of the bailouts, after all of the money, after everything, GM sales have plunged 25%. And what's gone up? Homelessness in New York is almost up 50% this year. Here's a great figure. 1 out of every 6 Americans are now on some form of government assistance. Now, let me put this in perspective. Bring up a map. 1 out of every 6 Americans. That's like saying everybody in the state of Virginia is on government assistance. Or everybody in the state of Florida is on government assistance. Or everyone in the state of Texas is on government assistance. And actually, that's not true, because 1 out of every 6 being on government assistance is like all 3 of these states combined. Do you have a concept now of how much we're in trouble? Plus, you have the states that are completely upside down. Well, I want to make it clear, not all of the states are upside down. No, they're not all running. It's just these states that are upside down. There are 3 there. Or is it? No, it's 3. 3 that aren't in trouble. So how do I know we're in real trouble? Because people with real money, and I don't mean the rich guy down the street, I mean George Soros. They're fleeing to gold. Now, I love this, how Congressman Weiner, went on a crusade to save customers from the pasty fat white guy on TV. Because that was his life mission, because I was duping people into buying gold. George Soros is leaving the American market and getting into gold. They bashed me for doing radio commercials on my show for gold when gold was $800 an ounce. And they were saying, oh, Glenn Beck is duping everybody. They're going to lose their money. Really? It's now over $1,200 an ounce. That's today. And they're now saying yesterday that it could go up to $1,500 by the end of the year. Now, why would gold be going up? And historically, is that a big number? Well, first of all the liberal bloggers who have just put their Cheetos down because they're like, oh, you kidding me? He's talking about gold. I got to write a blog on that. I say even on my radio program, I don't buy gold as an investment. It's insane. It's insane to buy gold. I buy it as insurance. Let me explain why. Because let me show you what gold is like. Do you remember the Department of Homeland Security? They had their color chart. Where are we? Over here. Their color chart. Show the color chart. Remember this color chart? This was severe risk of terrorist attacks. Well, there is a coded color chart that I've come up with now as well, just to explain this. An economic terror alert system. Our economy has warnings, warning colors. It's all color coded. You just know how to read it. You know, if you look at the chart, green, blue, yellow, orange, you kind of get it. The red one on this chart over here would be gold. This one. Now, I'm using this as a gold doorway because I want you to understand this is a door frame into insanity. You get to this point, things are nuts. It's like California. How nuts does it have to be in California when there's an earthquake to where you say, where is the only place that could possibly save me because the entire house is coming down? They tell you, stand in the door frame. Now, it's better to be outside. It's better to not be in a building. It's better to, oh, I don't know, not live in California for a lot of reasons.